All of you pick banjo?
Yep.
Well, this is one that we built.
It's beautiful.
I've been doing this full time since March of 1980. I started doing it full time. I met Ralph Stanley over here at Bean Blossom in the 70s and asked him about building him a banjo, and so I built him one. He called me a couple of months later and said, if you build these, I'll sell them. And so he said, we'll call them the Stanley Tone. So I started building them for him in 75. And then in March of 80, I started doing it full time. And that's all I've done since then. I work the shop. My son works with me. Ricky works with me. Anymore, he does all the inlay work. And then I do the neck shaping and fitting and everything together. And he does most of the finished work, and I do some of it. But he does all of the inlay work because when you're doing that, you definitely need to be able to see. And as you get older, you don't see as well. But there's a few things about a banjo that's, most of it is all simple stuff. We'll start here with the string nut. You see a lot of them that they have trouble keeping them in tune. And a lot of times that is where the strings is buried up in the nut so deep that you run it down a little bit and it's still holding here, and you start playing and the string goes head, comes on down on its own, then you're out of tune. What I try to do is cut the top of the nut off to where the strings are laying there enough that it will stay in the groove, but enough that it will slide through the groove whenever you're tuning it. And anytime you've got any questions, well, feel free to ask. And then I'll take graphite and I'll put it in the nut, and that helps the string to slip through there too. And anyway, that's one of the main things about getting one to stay in tune. Another thing is the bow in the neck that's on. And you'll see most everybody will take and look down the neck like that to see how much bow's in it, and you really can't tell because you're looking over the top of that nut. The best way is to hold the third string at the first fret and down here at the last one, and then look at it along here and see how much space you've got between the string and the fingerboard. You don't want, that's got probably about 20 thousandths right in here is about what it's got, and that's really all you need. If you get much more than that when you capo, it'll pull you out of tune.
Maybe on the last fret, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the 22nd and the 1st. And then with the string, whenever you got the banjo tuned up, well, that string's tight, and when you hold it down like that, it's straight. And you use it as a straight edge is what you do.
Yeah.
But then you can look, and you need just a little bit of space between the string and the fret here. You don't need much, but you do need a little. And if you get much over 20 thousandths, like I said, it'll pull you out of tune whenever you capo. And then if you get it too straight, when you go to playing, like, it'll rattle. And, oh, by the way, I do have some bridges with me. I've got strings with me. Yeah. This is my wife. This is Ruth. She's got some straps. And if you get cold, we got some jackets.
Look like your jackets.
So
Warm jackets.
we tried to come all prepared if we could. But have we got any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of hours you talking about building a banjo?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I just
It takes
ballpark figure.
it takes us about 2 weeks from the time we start till we get one completed.
Right.
And we usually work on 10 or 12 at a time.
Oh, I see.
And you might work on one 10 minutes and then you work on something else.
I see.
You would have to have somebody with a stopwatch following you around.
What's
See,
the neck
when-
made out of?
This is made out of mahogany.
Mahogany?
Yeah. And it's got the maple wood rim in it, the northern maple wood rim. It's got a tone ring that I have Bill Blaylock to build just for me. And they're a little bit lighter than 3 pounds, but to make them different, when he decided that he would start building them for me, I told him, I said, well, I want you to just put 18 holes in them so it'll be different. Most tone rings has 20 holes in them, or they're solid.
Yeah.
This one has 18.
Does that do anything for sound, or you just want to be different?
I don't think it does anything for sound. It's just that I can identify it by having 18 holes in it.
Nice.
And then it makes it, if you had 20 holes, it'd be just a little bit lighter, but not very much. So I don't think, 18 or 20, I don't think it really matters.
So that just basically, so you can tell which ones.
But I can tell that it's my tone ring whenever I see it,
I see.
because here's the holes that's in it.
Yeah.
There. And I asked him if he could put 19, and he said it's too hard to set the jig up to do that, so he'd do 18.
That's all mahogany too?
Now this is maple here.
Or maple?
This is maple. The neck is mahogany, and the resonator is mahogany. And then this particular one has a Brazilian rosewood fingerboard on it.
What are they talking about when they talk about a copper ring, yeah.
They put so much copper in these rings when they make them. They've got copper in them. And